What's good, YouTube? And welcome to the house. Who would have thunk that you would want to play 60 cards for consistency in an Exodia FTK? But there's some insane synergy between cards, and it actually seems somewhat semi-viable. This could one day top a regional, should it face the right matchups and maybe not enough hand traps. But I seriously do think this is a pretty cool way that StrangePro4 has twisted his engine in order to make Exodia happen. But he did message me during the drunk streams, the deck list, so I've lost those. I'll have to message him back for the previous two deck lists. Maybe we'll get like 2 more deck lists and another replay from our mans. He does have the wind-up loop FTK actually with this kind of engine too. This engine is actually just kind of insane how it wraps around everything and is able to do so many different things. So let's go ahead and start into this duel. So he loses the rock, paper, scissors. He's gonna go second, so his opponent's gonna be able to set up here. And we notice some new cards from Battles of Legends, such as Gilf the Phantom Bird. So his opponent's gonna be able to set up into a Dante through the Predaplant engine, get a Skarm and Aesir. Seems to think he's pretty lucky here. LOL. All right, and we're gonna just see him with an opening hand that off the top of my head, I wouldn't think this is amazing, but Rhoda's going to get him into one of his best starters, so we're going to go ahead and see Dark Ref for a touchdown, and he's going to be able to get rid of that Phantom Knight out of his hand, get a Malicious, and go into Isolde right here. Now, Isolde, there's a new key into this deck, and Isolde actually has some pretty insane synergy with it. It's kind of funny to see later on, but just keep that in mind, that there's actually some synergetic things there. So, we see him get the Kaiden Kendo Spirit Pendulum Scale once again off Isolde with the search, which is pretty darn cool. And so he sends these, and so sort of Deep Sedate kind of puts itself back in deck. I don't know that this is optimal for the build. Like, it seems like he always wants to put this back, mayhaps, but I don't know if it's optimal for Exodia. I'll have to actually ask him. It's something that I was wondering as I was watching. I was like, don't you want to get to your cards just a little bit faster? But we'll see him continue play. He gets to, has 2 bamboo swords in hand now, and has the Fog Blade, gets rid of the Fog Blade, goes to Hanzo, and he gets back into his Ninja, but with 4 different names here, he has Saryuja. He's going to be able to completely fix his hand, gets to Soul Charge, which, is pretty good, and his Ninja is going to get him 2 more Ninjas out of deck, and he's going to get Twilight Ninja, so another correct Pendulum Scale. He has 1 and a 9 Pendulum Scales. It's actually just crazy. He has access to all these things. So going into Terraforming for Empowerment, and we're actually going to see Empowerment get its effect off this duel with this insane card. This is what I was highlighting the other duel. It's really insane with Empowerment. Once per turn, you can discard a card, then target a warrior or spellcaster type monster with 2,000 or less attack in your graveyard, special summon it in defense position. So if he has to use something like Summoner Monk earlier in the duel, he can actually get it back here. So that's kind of just cool to see that he has access to that. And then we see Zephyros coming in here to actually give him back his empowerment to hand for later. And we're going to see another Link summon here. We'll fast forward just a bit. Into another Saryuja for 4. And here we go. We have World Legacy Secession, so we have Free Revival, we have Summoner Monk, and we already have Divine Sword Phoenix Blade to be able to get the free triple Summoner Monk if he wants it. But instead, here's the key of the deck. You banish up to 3 spell and traps from your graveyard face down, and special summon a normal monster from your deck whose levels are equal to the number of cards banished by this activated effect. Isolde sends the spells for you to banish some of them. So this is kind of really just crazy and cool that he has access to bring all of the normal pieces of Exodia to the field. And that's going to matter in a bit. So we're going to fast forward, and we see Firewall come out, the degenerate part of everything here. And we see him go into proxy, we see him go into double proxy, and now he's going to be able to use Firewall's effect to get 2 of them back. Or actually, and the Summoner Monk. So it's co-linked 3 ways, gets a triple bounce here, and there's the first 2 pieces back. So we see that, and then we see Summoner Monk. We see the free stuff from Divine Sword Phoenix Blade. We get the Unicorn. And he's just going to keep going up. And we see Exodia actually be sent to the graveyard by an Armageddon Knight since it is a dark. That's pretty funny. So we continue play here. And we're going to recur, I believe, the Firewall once again to the field. Thanks to the Unicorn spinning it earlier. And ta-da! We have GG, easy. I believe this is unrated, by the way. Not that people take that too seriously, but I think this is just organically enrated with this deck. So, viability. That's a strong word for this deck. But when you start to look at everything here, it seems like in certain hands he might be able to play through something like an Ash Blossom. I think no Exodia deck, though, in any format is playing through Drolan Lockbird. When I was looking at the duels where you could go through all the different formats that Konami had for the side events, what were those called? It's the side event where you can choose your format, like 5Ds or Pendulum or Arc V or the beginning. Drolan Lock was one of the strongest sides, and I actually used like Magical Abductor to be able to search Drolan Lock to shut down FTK/OTKs that were from the LOB-ish era. Like, you were the Duelist Kingdom era. I don't know what they necessarily called it, but that's a whole format for side events that I studied. And so with Drolan Lock, the viability's not really too much there in terms of, man, you've got to fade that through an entire regional. But if it ever does, you know, see the light of day on a ban list. Now, let's talk about Firewall here. I feel like everything centers around Firewall when we're seeing something crazy like this happen, right? Like, whenever we see something degenerate able to loop over and over, we see Firewall. But this man has found a way to do something we haven't really seen before. He uses Unicorn in order to get Firewall back and has so many resources without even having to Soul Charge here. Like, I'm sure earlier in the replay you saw Soul Charge, your eyes glazed over, and you're like, oh, another Soul Charge to enable play. No. He straight up did not need that Soul Charge in order to get his combo. It's actually pretty sick. It's almost as if he wanted to test himself and not use certain cards in hand to prove that he could get there. But then if he did get, you know, some kind of hand trap, he could recur and go into a different way. But it's really cool to see, like, even though Firewall is that degenerate, really cool to see him be able to recur his Firewall Dragon that way with Unicorn, which is something I really want you guys to take away from this. This is a play I don't really see at all, but in terms of deck building, perhaps this is something you have not thought of. The ability to spin back Firewall, remake it, and get its recurrence once again, because once Firewall went to 1, you stopped looping, but this guy has found the way to continue looping, and that's by spinning the Firewall with something you have access to already in your extra deck. That's what I really want you guys to take away from this replay, and that's a huge competitive aspect that you might have overlooked, not considered, and I think is pretty awesome. Also, those not hard once per turn Saryuja effects coming into effect here also, and you'll be getting your cheaper Saryujas out of the Megaton. So, if you do want to see this deck list in the future, give it a thumbs up. I'll try to make like kind of a contemplation of his deck list, going through them, and maybe like get one more replay from him if he's up for it. I know that he does have the wind-up version. Actually, let me see. I should have a, yeah, I should actually have the wind-up list for you here. I don't know that that's the best look at it, but I don't have it in an actual dueling book way either. But as you can see, the kind of engine that he's abusing is here, and then there's tweaks to each and every single list, and then he actually plays things like evenly matched to be able to take care of opponents' boards and then loop off in main phase 2 should he go second. So he's not just preparing to do his one trick crazy pony kind of thing without thinking of what his opponent's playing. He's actually trying to adapt and play through the metagame. So I've got to give it to StrangePro. Thank you so much for the replays. Thank you so much for the entertaining duels. These kinds of things and breaking Yu-Gi-Oh are what really made me fall in love with the game and lets me like continue to enjoy like my casual parts of the streams. Like getting to see stuff like this helps me just like want to do my deck building challenges and create amazing moments like you are in rated duels. Who needs their Soul Charge? That's the craziest part. But again, if you do want to see it, let me know in the comment section down below. I think a lot of you guys are going to want to to see the sauce and the spice, but I think this is a pretty good starting point idea for you guys. And I just want to give a quick moment to say, I know Yugi Nono said he's basically taking a break from YouTube and going to rebrand his channel. I think there is a difference when you do this every day as a job, and I think you guys have seen stuff like yesterday where I just take a day off. It's really helped me out to be able to not feel like I owe a video every single day. I have to do this every day. No, I do this when and where I want, and it's awesome to be able to do that and then get sent stuff like this, or be able to support the community back with Decklist. I had somebody in the Discord worrying about me, like, John, don't you leave us too, and it's like, it's personal reasons for him, and he's going to evolve and adapt. It's not like he's gone. It's not like he's even necessarily leaving the community. He's just evolving his channel, so don't worry about me. There's a lot of tubers quitting, though, like Phoenix Flare X is taking a break. We have Olenteo on a break, not sure if he's coming back. There's just so many different, like, tubers that fall in and out of the game, and I think it's similar. Like, Billy took a long break before his 3rd win, and then he got his 4th win. Like, sometimes people just need a break from the game, but for me, I've always loved the community, and it always just keeps me hanging around. And I really am happy to be able to do this. Not necessarily every day, because I think it's important to take your breaks, but I'm certainly happy to be able to do this for a living and continue to, like, just get to chill with you guys in the streams, talk to you guys in my comment section that aren't completely irrational, and be able to really enjoy watching stuff like this. It really does make me happy, guys. Thanks for watching.